where the government there is stepping up efforts to assist villagers trapped by rising floodwaters in the Nkomazi area. Heavy rains are continuing and the widespread flooding has already caused damage to homes and roads. Mweli Masilela is following that story for us, and you're standing by to tell us what you are seeing this hour at least. Hello, Mweli.
We are at an area called Tsambokulu. It's one of the severely affected areas, and in fact my colleague Kolani he's going to show you now. This is one of the more than 70 bridges that the mayor was talking about, Pendela Makakula, to say that they have been damaged in the Nkomazi area. So actually, if you can look, people are now struggling to travel from the village, which is about 9 kilometers from here. This is a pregnant woman that you are seeing here. They are helping her to cross this river to the other side, to the Tsambokulu village. And members or the Gift of the Givers, there were some representatives from the Gift of the Givers here on the ground, and they are saying that the only way they can assist people across this river is a chopper, and they are still waiting for that chopper to come through. We understand from the Nkomazi municipality that at least there was one chopper that was provided for assistance, but that chopper, Dodozile, is not enough to service all these affected families. Some people have been displaced. We are told that some have actually been housed in a church here in Nkomazi. Some houses have been damaged, but what we are seeing is that the leaders at the Nkomazi municipality, as well as provincial leadership, especially the Department of Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs, they have been meeting to try and find ways to try and assist these people. We are told that already they've made a request from the national government, because some people have already been calling for this place to be declared a disaster area so that more help can come from different directions. Let's speak to one community member here. His name is Amos Mahlalela. He's been one of those observing what's happened here. But Mahlalela, siyabonga kakhulu isikhathi sakho. Nangabe usichazele njengesimo sala. Siyabona manje bantu bayazama kundlula kodwa akuhambeki. Lokusho ukuthi ematekisi akakhona ikusuka ngale Tsambokulu awolele ngalani khona kuthenga khona kudla niphindze niye nasetibhedlela.
Asikhona babe kuyangala ngenhlitiyo lenhle ngoba nayitolo sina sesikwenteka inkinga sithole umuntu ogulako samisa ngala kunemngcwabo nalojikile asingcwabi akwenteki next. Asali singancedeka kanjani.
Sinjani simo utibonile kukhulu la mayor waseNkomazi bekafikile nalabanye babuya kuthi inhlangano lehlukahlukene le-Fire Cards Gift of the Givers. Lusito liyafika yini lapho nithikamete khona?
Lesito njoba ngibona amaphasi bafikile ngicaba sisentaba khona ngoba nayitolo sibonile basincedile ngekudla, asinetha ngale ngeshema soja asidilivela kudla ba. But umgwaqo ufonakele too much.
Njengoba thina singakhona ukufika ngale ngabe yini lenilahlekele kakhulu? Nawungasibekela nje sithombe sokuthi simo sinjani?
Simo siphetha khona umgwaqo wonakela kakhulu. Akunakudla emakhaya, abathengi ngendlela ukuthi bafuna bawele betenganele. Kude lokuye ngathi ngokuchaza. Lokubi nje ngilo. Akuna transport lehambako. Akuna next inteka lezamakako nje ubona nje kusona. Abantu besikole bayethu kolweni kuvalekile. And bafunza khona nganele.
All right, siyabonga kakhulu. Tutuzile, that is Amos Mahlalela, one of the community members here. He's telling us that the situation is very dire. The village where he stays, it's about 9 kilometers from here. And he's speaking about learners not being able to go to school. So there was a communique from the Office of the Premier actually advising government employees to stay at home or work from home because there's still more rainfall that has been forecast. So this is a precautionary measure to ensure that people are safe, because we know that according to reports that we had from the police in the past few days since the downpours started, 4 people are still missing, and we are told that 2 have died because those bodies have been recovered. So that's the situation on the ground. We will be expecting that indeed the team of Gift of the Givers, once they have that helicopter, because that SANDF helicopter that he was talking about, that members of the army did arrive, they are saying that it's not enough. They need more choppers to assist different communities. But as you can see, there are people coming from the other side now. So they were dropped by a taxi, that other side, and they will be assisted by some of those members of the community. They will be assisted by some of those members of the community that are camping actually here this stream to assist, especially those who are a bit vulnerable, especially those pregnant women. We are told the other gentleman that I spoke to earlier, he said that, we were speaking over the record, he said that he had just assisted about 3 women in the morning. They were crossing from this other side to at least go to the clinic. So what we know also, Nkomazi is not the only affected area here in Mpumalanga. There are other affected areas like Sekwane South. In fact, most of the houses in that particular area were submerged yesterday, but we understand that the situation is much better now since the rain subsided. We've seen areas like Ngodwane, also there, some bridges have been damaged, and the people are not able to go to work, especially those working at the mill there, because there's no other alternative route. We've seen also with the busiest route in Mpumalanga, that is the N4. It was also closed for most part of the day yesterday because there were some rock falls and sort of mudslide blocking the road. But of course the track team coming all out, they're working overnight to try and clear the road. But what we understand that they only managed to partially open that road, which means that it's sort of a stop and go, and the movement of traffic very slow in that particular part of the N4, which is Skumanskloof and Waterfall Boven. So that's how serious the situation is. Tambukulu, where these people that you are seeing now are coming from, is not the only affected village. In fact, we are told at least 3 villages have been cut off from the rest of the communities. They can't be able to go straight to their respective towns or hospitals or clinics using taxis. So that is why then you are seeing them walking now, trying to cross this damaged bridge to get to the other side, because as we have heard from Amos Mashalel, they are seriously affected. They don't have food in their homes. Some of their houses are damaged, but at least there are those who are being assisted with immediate relief already. We are told, according to the Nkomazi municipality, at least 1,000 people that have been affected. Let's try and speak to some of them. Puti Kunjani says, you are live on Newzroom Afrika. We can see that you are coming from the other side. Tell us, where are you going and how is the situation from that side where you are coming from?
Ngendlela ifile yonke kufika Tambukulu vela ihambeki manje nami kusasa ngiyangena emsebenzini ifuna ukuthi ngiyolalela ngala ebanganini.
Labanye bathi abanakudla simo sibi kakhulu, nangasichazela nje ukuthi wena uboneni.
Simo sibucayi vela kukhonakala ukufika etitolo. Sengiyole ndlela uthi nje sithathwe ngamaveni asibeke la sesukwele sithole lama tekisi siyojika kubona sisithole kokudla.
Alright, siyabonga kakhulu. Ngibani igama lakho?
Nkomazi Makakula.
Alright, that is Nkomazi Makakula. He's one of those who are now. My brother, I would like to talk to you. There is this gentleman. I know that will be against the sun. If you can, this is one of the gentlemen that have been camping here, trying to assist people who are crossing this damaged bridge here. Yini kahle kahle lo yendako la uqale nini sinjani simo ngicela ubuka mina.
Simo sibi kakhulu. Mina la ngiqale ngalesithathu. Solo ngibhizi. Ngithatha itekisi ngithatha abantu ngale ngizobabeka la. Mangifika la ngiphinze ngiyaba assiste ngiyabaweta futhi la. Ngoba labanye bomaka abakhoni lokuwela la. Ngiyabaweta nemthwalo mangijika ngibuyele emuva ngiphinze ngiyabalo. Baphinde bangifonele futhi basho ukuthi sicela usilanze nyalo sesikhona. Ngibathathe le ngibawede ene labahlupha kakhulu ngilabo make ngoba labanye sebatithwele yabona ba li clinic li1 kusembangwana ngibathwala mangibasusa la ngibabeka la ngizame ngigijime ngile ngifike ngibita itekisi le ikhumbi ibuye izame ibathathe la ibayisele emtholampilo yabona.
Alright, asesikhulume ke ngawe nje ekhaya simo sinjani seva ukuthi labanye into dabo tibhedlikile abanakudla wena lesimo lesikhona semvula ngabe sikuthikamete kanjani?
Babe mina singithinga bese kakhulu because ispreaker sami namanje siphukile ngoba shokuthi le miri idonse kakhulu manje siphukile saphukela etule embhedeni wami. Kudla vele into lebhedzako kakhulu ngoba namanje Dokunalenye iveni la siwethisa tingwa tiyangale eThambokulu. Tingwa tingene manje ngo-12.
Nabangathi banisita nje manje, yini lisito lenilithenga kakhulu manje?
Ya, besidinga timbuphu ngoba labanye timbuphu basithi imanti. Ya, kudla vele kakhulu. Ngoba masingabuka indzaba yetindlu ngoba khona lamanye emakhaya vele tindlu tibhidlikile ngoba ngale basebenzisa itindlu telitsaka labanye.
Alright, siyabonga kakhulu ukukhuluma nathi Bhuti Duduzile. So that's the situation. He's saying that the main thing that they need now will be minimal, because you'll understand that due to the heavy rains, most of their stuff or food is soaked because of what transpired. And his job here, he started on Wednesday, if I'm not mistaken. He is assisting especially those who are pregnant because they are struggling, and as far as crossing this river is concerned, because the bridge is damaged. So he actually collects people from the other side of the river and assists them to cross to this side of the river. All they want, the side mainly, is to go to the clinic and also to go to the shops to try and buy food. So that's the current situation. As you have heard earlier, we spoke to the mayor. She is promising to say that indeed these villages, such as this one, will be prioritized because they are completely cut off. These are the people who will be receiving assistance first compared to the other villages. As much as it is indeed the entire Nkomazi area affected, but they believe that the 3 villages that have been cut off should be the ones that get prioritized in as far as help is concerned. So we're also going to hear from the MEC for Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs, Mandam Sebi, because he's also been attending meetings, and also we've heard that in fact it's his department that is engaging the national department to provide or to try and pump in some funds to ensure that assistance does finally come to the people who are affected on the ground.
A very desperate situation, as we can see it from ourselves, from the visuals that my colleague Mweli Masilela is bringing to us. Pregnant women having to cross not 1 but 2 hurdles as roads have been emptied following the heavy rains there. And there's a woman with a baby who's also approaching, hoping to get to the other side. And in the midst of all of that, you still find a good Samaritan. There he is, that man in a reflected jacket who is making his way down. He's helping pregnant women the most, he says, get to the other side and get to a clinic, in spite of his situation that he is facing, which is also less than desirable. Mweli Masilela, thank you very much for that update. For now, we'll touch base with you a little bit later on, and hopefully as you work that story for us, we'll find out in terms of timelines what the authorities are saying to sort of get something done for those people, so they can be able, for the people of Nkomazi, so that they can be able to get to clinics safely.